Story RH, the podcast that makes a long story short.
Welcome to all.
History is made of stories.
In this episode, we'll be exploring why, in practice, the Eisenhower priority matrix doesn't work.
Workloads always seem to be increasingly. Given our growing to-do lists, we all dream of tools that can help us to prioritize and save time.
So when one day someone introduces you to the well-known Eisenhower matrix, you're thrilled. Easy peasy, 4 boxes. Except that, in reality, it's not quite so simple. So, why the urgent important matrix doesn't work? What's the story?
First, let's just quickly remind everyone what we're talking about, since we've all heard it before. You make a to-do list organized into 4 boxes according to urgency and importance.
You prioritize tasks that are both urgent and important and forget about those that are neither.
As for things that are urgent but unimportant, you delegate. And you schedule those that are important but not urgent to handle later.
These are the basics of personal time management. In fact, most of the time, you don't even need a formal tool. You automatically organize your tasks according to these rules.
True, but the danger when it comes to classifying things as urgent and important lies in the following questions. Urgent for whom? Important to whom? It's important to determine what's urgent and important, but according to whom?
The incorrect approach adopted by many people is that we're talking about what's urgent and important to me, since it's about managing my priorities.
But, for a group to function properly and to ensure you're making your contribution to the shared project, the point of view you need to adopt to determine what is urgent and important isn't your personal comfort or preference.
Exactly. You have to put the project, working together, and the shared ambition first. And that's not always easy.
If everyone manages their priorities according to their own individual point of view, you eventually end up with a dysfunctional group.
And those who invest in the collective, those who put the project first, they suffer even more than the rest.
Because if the others hand off tasks that are urgent but unimportant, who ends up handling them?
So the team players end up overwhelmed because external constraints set their priorities.
This is why it's so important to balance individual and collective work via a clear and operational organization of work overseen by an attentive manager so that workload is acceptable to everyone, whether we're talking about the assigned, actual or perceived amount of work.
In real life, the Eisenhower matrix can be useful if you lose sight of your priorities, as long as using it doesn't make you lose sight of the project's end goal.
Or pass on too much of your work to others. Because when you read that you should hand off tasks that are urgent but unimportant, it raises important questions about what it means to delegate.
Here, as always, it's not the tool but how we use it that matters most.
To recap, the urgent important matrix for managing priorities can be useful when you lose sight of your priorities. But it's crucial to remember that you work for a collective, and that what is urgent and important cannot be determined by your personal comfort alone. You have to put the collective first. Is that right?
Exactly right. Way to make a long story short. Story RH, the podcast that makes a long story short.